Journal of African Media Studies. Sarah has presented several papers in many international conferences, including the Political Studies Association annual conferences, the Systematic International Communication Association (ICA). In 2015, Sarah partnered with her husband, engineer Kenneth Chidirejo, create the JOS Students Motivation and Reward Token, JSMAT. JSMAT rewards the student with the highest score in science and technology reporting with funds worth the equivalent of a year's school fees. In early year 2000 and amid COVID-19, Sarah created Elan Hub, a news and media website. She serves as a platform CEO, while her team is made up of former students and graduates from the Mass Communication Department of the River State University in Nigeria. In May 2020, Sarah, in collaboration with Sucess formed the Thrive Consortium as a platform to give hope, positiveness, and inspiration to a world that has become so used to the opposite. Please join me to welcome Sarah as she moderates the event this afternoon. Oluwabamidele Adeko, popularly known as Sensational Bamidele, is a Nigerian gospel artist, philanthropist, and managing director of Sensational Ensemble, a multifaceted entertainment company. He is an energetic, phenomenal gospel artist who executes when it comes to doing what he loves the best, praising and worshiping God. He is known for his passion and unusual style of blending all genres of music, be it highlight, soul, reggae, worship, praise, gyration, etc. Sensational Bamidele is a versatile music minister and instrumentalist with over 20-something years of experience in the industry. He has grown to be one of Port Harcourt and indeed Nigeria's finest gospel artists. He has shared same stage with the likes of Samuel Okposo, Chioma Jesus, Frank Edwards, King Godfrey, Asu Ekie, Kreke Umar, Mercy Chinwo, S.A. Walter, Samson, Priye Odede, Wilson K., Efinatan, and Praise K.D. Nombere, Atonye Douglas, Jessica Reddy, and many other great gospel ministers. With 2 amazing albums, videos, and 2 successfully concluded gospel street concerts, 2019 saw yet another part of sensational artist as he released 3 tracks that has been blessing life, titled Your Friend, Nana Away, and I'm in Love with You. With his 3rd gospel street concert on the way, Sensational Bamidele is set to take over the gospel scene as he released the gospel highlight single titled You Are Good, Jehovah. The song is a celebration of God's faithfulness and supremacy with a perfect blend of the Niger Delta highlight culture. Sensational Bamidele has been a source of inspiration to many since he left the secular music scene to join the band of God's people in spreading the gospel through his music. With a span of fans across the globe, Sensational Bamidele is committed to mentoring, teaching, songwriting, and inspiring every young person that comes his way. He has been known for doing his work excellently, with lots of awards to his credit beyond the city of Port Harcourt and Nigeria at large. Please also join me to welcome Sensational Bamidele as he shares his dimension of success with us this afternoon.
God bless you.
Nathan is a music minister, singer, songwriter, and a music director, a mentor and a worship coach. As a recording artist, she has released many songs which have become anthems all over the world. Notable among them are Still Within the Flow, Nobody Like You, Hallelujah, None Compared, Great and Marvelous, a song she co-wrote with internationally notable worship leader Natalie Barsi, I Declare and Will Worship. Her 3 albums, Rock With Me, A New Level, and Broken, enjoyed lavish airplay on radio and stations all over Nigeria, West Africa, the UK, and the USA. FS Hit went on to win our Artist of the Year 2011 and 2012 on Inspiration FM, one of Nigeria's top radio stations. As a performing artist and worship leader, She has been blessed to grace several platforms in continents of the world, leading people of all ages, cultures in pure, undiluted worship, lace-heavy music, and a unique style of creativity stands her out. Every song of the album carries a hint of ethnicity to the listener. She calls her genre contact, which means contemporary African. Efe's dream is to inject contact into the list of global genres. Efe has ministered with both local and international acts, with a fiery band in Navigators. The call of God on our life has carried her all over the world, leading worship, teaching and mentoring people, especially the upcoming generation and women, on the heartbeat of God and how to get into deeper levels with God through the mentors moments with Efe and women in worship platforms under Efe Nathan Ministries, which he has oversight on as a president. Among other recognitions, Efe's work earned her a nomination on the Best Album category of 2012 and 2015 Skepta's National Gospel Award, and also was nominated for the Best Female Vocalist for Crystal Award 2013 and 2014. She has received so many awards. What Efe loves about her music is the fact that it brings about an atmosphere of worship, vibrant praise, healing and deliverance in God's presence. Efe's passion is worship, and she loves to see everyone grow in it. Efe is a testimony of someone who stays in the place of service and is consistent in and out of season and has been blessed and graced doing music. Aside being a gospel artist, Efe is also recognized as voice-over artist, make-up artist, and image consultant. Once again, join me this afternoon to welcome Efe to Tribe 2.0 as she shares her dimension of success. Last but not the least, Adejumobi Oluwatosin Akinwumi, also known as Tosin B, was born on 24th May in Ilorin, Kwara State. He is from Oyo State, Ogbomoso to be precise. Tosin is an English graduate of the prestigious Olabisi Onabanjo University in Agoiwoye, Ogun State. His music prowess dates back to his genes. His grandfather, Samuel Adejumobi, was also known to be a very good singer. A rare blend of simplicity, humility, dexterity, integrity, all fused together makes the man Tosin B. As a first firm step, Tosin joined the Roots, a three-man music band that consisted of himself, Rumide, and Sam. They rocked the town and traveled through the western states of the country to bless the people with a new style of music ministration. However, the group disbanded due to individual career pursuits. It was here that Tosin decided to forge on and make a career out of music. The word of God is his main source that drives him on to greater heights, and this kept him going in spite of challenges. Tosin's sonorous voice continues to captivate his listening audience. Unequivocally, his unique class of gospel music largely consists of R&B, hip fuji, jazz, ewi, that's a traditional Yoruba chant, and injects a breath of fresh air in the Nigerian gospel arena. Already, his single, You Are God, is fast becoming a favorite in Nigerian circles and beyond, even in the secular world. Tosin B has also stopped at just releasing a single, but has also been a blessing to churches and ministries in Africa and beyond. He has also shared the stage with the likes of John Myung, Byron Cage, Kim Burrell, Jonathan Nelson, Kurt Carr, Sonny Badu, Uche Agu, King Sonny Ade, Dr. Evangelist Ebenezer Obe, Nathaniel Basu, Chioma Jesus, Stockley Alabi, Samuel Fuzu, King Godfrey, etc. His passion equally goes out of the elderly who are struggling to make ends meet. Thus, his Tosin Open Initiative for the elderly is currently being put in place to administer help to senior citizens of Nigeria. His vision is to become a catalyst of unadulterated worship and a positive point of reference in the Nigerian gospel music industry. Tosin's overall mission is to unleash the force of worship through the vehicle of music. Once again, join me to welcome to Tribe 2.0, Tosin B. One thing joining this trip renowned gospel ministers together. It's not just their love for music and their love for God. The three of them, Sensational Bamidele, Efineka, Atosinbi, have all graced the stage of Audacity of Praise. Audacity of Praise is a platform where under the open heavens, praise is showered to God Almighty. It came out of the place of pain in 2011, and by His grace, on the 2nd of October, as also the convener of Audacity of Praise, to invite you to the 10th edition of Audacity of Praise 2020. And I yield the floor to our amiable moderator, Mrs. Sarah Jones Chidebere. Thank you for listening to me, and you are welcome once more to try to.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Solomon. That was a powerful, very powerful intro. And I'd like to welcome all our guests. Thank you so much. To our speakers, thank you so much. Sensational is in the house. If he's here and Tosin is here, we're so honored. Thank you to the Thrive Consortium as well for inviting me again, for making me part of the group. I'm so grateful. Thank you. God bless you. I know we're a little bit behind time, but I'd like to mention just two things. In the past 3 days, these three artists, gospel ministers, and that's how I like to address them, in doing the research for this program, they have instead, just by listening to their testimonies and their songs and people's testaments regarding them, have been drawn so much into a place of worship. In fact, for me, this program should just be converted into a worship session, because listening to Efe just a few moments ago was like, I felt like just lifting my hands in praise to God. Listening to Sensational, I felt like dancing. It's so amazing, the gift you are to the kingdom. And so we're so honored, we're privileged, we're sitting before gospel reality. God bless you guys. And to our guests, I'd like to say this. Not everyone gets the chance to tell their story. And I think, coming from a media background, issues are always represented or sometimes misrepresented. And so today I would like to encourage you to listen, to learn, and to grow by listening also to these very, very sensational artists. And that's because a story is so powerful, is so important when you get the chance to listen to someone's story from the person's own mouth. There is no ambiguity. Nobody can come tell you something else. And then by listening to people's journey, their dimension of success, there's a lot to gain. There's a lot to learn. You find similarities, you find differences, you find answers to questions, and then you know how to frame yourself, position yourself for your own layer of success. So thank you so much for being here. And without really wasting your time, I would like to start off, and each of our speakers will be talking to us for at least 15 minutes each to tell us their journey, how they started, where they are now, because I believe that success is a journey, and I believe that's their position as well. They probably are not where they all want to be, but they have made phenomenal progress, and that's why they are gracing the Thrive stage today. So please join me, welcome Tosin B, to tell us how he started as a choir boy to becoming the sensation and inspiration he is today. Tosin, please take it away. Hey, can you please?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay,
Thank you so much for having me, and of course to everyone in the house, Sensational, Ife Nathan, and Mr. Solomon, and of course Sarah. Thank you so much, and to everyone joining to learn one or two things. God bless everyone in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So without wasting time, well, I'm just going to share my story. I remember, I was staying in Ogumosho at the time. Then I was very young with my family, and I had these big brothers that were singers too. We were neighbors, so every evening they would invite me to join them. We just sing around the neighborhood, and people would just say, "Wow, you guys are fantastic!" Blah blah blah. So we're just enjoying the accolades and what have you. Then after a while, I moved on secondary school, blah blah blah. Then up to when I wanted to go for my A levels. So I had my A levels in Ilori. So when I went for my A levels, I met some new friends. They were fantastic singers too, awesome singers. And, on campus then, what we do was we just sing around on campus. As a matter of fact, we called it operation then. So what we do is we go around the campus singing, and all the ladies will be shouting, "Wow, wow!" Just trying to just impress people. So after a while, I had some people that encouraged me to join the choir, but being a shy person, I wasn't ready to do that because I felt, how do I stand in front of people to start singing? So I wasn't cut up for that. So we kept on with our operation and operation until one day, in the course of the operation stuff, a lady walked up to me and she told me that she would like to talk to me. Of course, my friends did not want to allow that because they felt she was some SU and she just wanted to just convert me, blah blah blah. So I guess the Holy Spirit just took over, and I yielded, and she spoke and she advised that, okay, instead of just wasting my talent and the giftings that God has deposited in me, instead of wasting it here on campus, why not just look for a choir where you can serve properly and use it for God. So the following day, I just went to my church and I told my MD that, okay, I'd like to join the choir. And that was it. So they allowed me to join. I remember after a while, the first time I ministered in the church, it was mind-blowing, to the glory of God. But something happened. The second time I was going to minister, because I had a deeper life background. So I could do normal, basic, leading choir songs. But when it comes to praise and worship, I couldn't do anything of such, you understand? So, but they didn't check that out. So I remember because of the first impression I gave them, I was given an opportunity to, take the praise and worship the following Sunday. Oh my God, it was, it was terrible. Let me put it that way. And the same people that were saying, "Wow, that was fantastic," the other week, this week they were like, "Please don't allow this brother to get on this stage anymore. It's not right for the stage." You understand? So, I felt really bad. In fact, the pastor had to tell the MD that he must not see me on the stage. And a week before, the pastor was saying, "Man, if he has all the millions in this world, he will give me." That was fantastic. So I felt bad. But one thing I didn't do was I didn't allow that to get at me. I joined some interdenominational choirs back then in Lorraine, and I started working on myself. I started learning how to do things, and I got developed. Then fast forward, after my A levels, I moved to university. I remember, I joined RCF, and I was in the choir. I was noticed. Gradually they started fielding me to do one or two things. Then in the long run, I became the worship team leader for the fellowship. After a while, I became the MD for the fellowship. Then after my university days, I had the issue of, okay, where to go. Should I return to Ilorin, or and my friends were telling me to come to Lagos because I never had anything to do with Lagos all along. So my friends were saying I should come to Lagos, but of course I had no family, I had nothing, I had no relative in Lagos at all. So it was a bit tough to decide coming to Lagos. But then I believe God orders the footsteps of his people. So I came in to Lagos. I remember coming into Lagos with a poly bag, and I had nowhere to sleep. So there was this church that I joined, the Breath of Life Church in Lagos, in Obaneko there. So I was always sleeping in the church for several months. I would sleep on the altar. Then in the morning, all things being equal, if we are able to raise little change, we'll buy noodles. You understand? We'll eat noodles, and it could just be that noodle. Maybe in the morning, that only food we ate in the morning, that will be the one that will serve us throughout the day. So it's always 010 or 100, or it's just once a day. You understand? And it will be noodles. You don't miss it. So it was really tough. So after a while, I tried to form a team with some of my friends in Lagos. We started, and when we go for programs, maximum maybe they will just tell us, "Man, you guys are fantastic. God bless you." Handshakes everywhere. So my guys could not just contain that. They felt, man, this is not it. So they had to leave me. I remember the maximum money we got then. Fine, it wasn't all about the money, but then, like they say, money is the keke of gospel. You understand? So I remember the maximum we got then was like 2,000 naira max, and we're like 10 grown-ups. So they could not, go on with that. So they had to leave me. So I had to, go on with the journey all alone. So please let me know when it is, when I'm just trying to compress all the stories so that
Okay, great.
this time.
Great.
Yeah. All right. So I had to set out on the journey alone. And after a while, I moved to RCCG, and I knew that, okay, when I got into Lagos, I knew it was a calling for me. It wasn't just some career, or so I joined RCCG, and after some time I had some churches that called me that they would like me to be their music director, but I knew so well that I wasn't caught up for that. Like, God was not leading me to do that. You understand? It was strictly to go about and just minister to souls. So I wasn't meant to be fixated in a place and everything. So I told them that I wasn't called down for that, but I was willing to arrange people for them. I remember a particular church where then people always consult me to arrange, team for their church and blah blah. But a particular incident happened. I remember a pastor reached out to me. I went to the house. The pastor and the wife, we got talking, and they told me that God said I should come and manage their music in their church. And right there, I told them that, well, I have not heard anything about that. However, if I hear anything, I would let them know. But they were in a hurry. They wanted to start something. So I told them, okay, I was willing to arrange people for them. So I did. I arranged people for them. Then I was really struggling. I didn't have money, nothing. So that could have been an opportunity for me to maybe get a place where I'll be living and maybe a ride or something. But I had to let it go. Then, because maybe I didn't see the picture of what was going to happen afterwards. A week after I got the MD for them, they got a very comfortable house for the MD. They got a car for the MD. And this is still me trekking around Lagos. I had nothing. You understand? Sincerely, I felt bad. Like, wow. I hope I'm not missing something. God, what is happening? You understand? But I remained faithful. I tried to, I kept at the assignment God has committed into my hands, and I didn't allow that to get at me. So I went on like that. So after some time, I met some few guys who started a band together, and we're always going around, ministering. And gradually, God started opening doors. About a month after the guy was given the car and the house, I don't know how God did it. I got my first ride. It was an SUV, and on, God has been blessing me like that. And I remember an incident happened to the first time I was going to have my international breakthrough. I remember that I was going through some challenges. Things were really tough, and um, a pastor invited me to come and minister in his church, and I went there. I didn't even go with any team. I just went with the soundtrack, which is unlike me. You understand? I just went with my soundtrack, and I remember I was ministering, and the pastor just said he should stop music. I actually thought maybe I messed up. I just said, "Man, stop the music." So I was scared, like, okay, what's happening here? And he said, "Can you guys feel what I'm feeling? This is not normal. This is not ordinary." So he started saying all these things. Yeah. So I was still scared, like, what is happening? So he just said, "Man, this guy is not ordinary." Blah, blah, blah. And that was, he just told his secretary, this guy must come to South Africa by December. Blah, blah, blah. So that was my first time, the first international breakthrough that I had. And ever since then, God has been opening doors, and, and I on and on doors started opening. But some of the things that I'm just trying to make sure I compress everything, just like we
Yes,
agreed on.
yes, because you have like 3 minutes left, actually.
3 minutes left, okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
I got some. I remember I got an invite to come and minister at Lagos Shift organized by RCCG. I guess that was where the major outbreak, the breakthrough came, where people got to know me. Okay, who is this guy? Blah blah. What happened then that day was that that was the first time they were going to have Lagos Shift, and you know, it was a massive event at TBS, but you know, being the first time, they didn't get some things right. So I was invited. They invited Minister Femi Micah, is in the US now. So they just said I should just come and just assist him, you know. So he sang for almost 1 hour, and after he just gave me a microphone for me to just do like some 5 minutes and just end the whole stuff. I never knew I was going to sing for the next 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I collected the microphone, and because they were trying to make sure things were in place before they would start properly, so I had to keep the music going for 3 good hours, non-stop. I went on like that, like that. So that made people, you know, wonder like, who is this guy? Where has he been? Blah blah blah. And that was how, you know, people started reaching out. Okay. So and that was it. And thank God I'm here today. I'm not there yet, but we're still
You're
going.
on Thrive.
I'm
Excited.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just before if it comes on saying, I would like to do a quick summary. In just talking to people about you and doing my personal research, trying to understand who Tosin B is. How did he even come by the name Tosin B? Adejumo Oluwatosin Akiwumi became Tosin B. We'll get to know all about that. And I'll say to our guests and those listening, those participating, whether on Facebook or on Zoom, get your questions ready. Use the Q&A session, put the questions there, we'll process them. If you have a question for Tosin, label your question as such. If it's for Ife or if it's for Sensational, any of them, label it as such. And I have personal questions. But when I talked to two persons about you, Tosin, this is what they said. They had, I mean, they said a couple of things, but there was a common thread. They said he has got a depth to him. And I inquired a bit further. And then I went back and I listened to your songs. Then I listened to some of the interviews that you gave. And I kind of agree, because there's a casualness to you, even the way you've laid down your story. But there are so many lessons to draw. And I don't know what other people heard, but let me just give a summary. So your journey of success began casually. You guys were trying to impress girls on campus.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. But there's always something about location with you. So you identify with the Deeper Life Bible Church, which is really grounded again. I can now kind of explain why there's also that kind of depth to you. You're also shy, but when I watch your videos, there's no atom of shyness. And that's how I begin to know ministers who are anointed or ministers who are just finding their way towards the anointing. But again, you talk about how people backed out, but you continue. That means for someone to be successful, you have to stay there. You have to be consistent. You can't give up. You need to know yourself. And then you gave like 2 narratives of when you had to say no, knowing when to say no. Not everything is for everyone. Not everything is for me. Not everything is for you. But you have to be grounded. You have to know yourself. You have to have like God in you to say, this is for you and this is not for you. And then you have to be ready. You talk about being, called up to minister for 5 minutes, and then you ended up ministering for 3 hours. We understand the place of anointing, but there's also that place of being ready for us to be successful. I don't know where you guys are at, but I'm listening and I'm learning, and I want to be ready, because nobody knows the day you'll be called upon to do just a bit more than you were already designed to do. So thank you for that powerful story. And I'm sure as we sink it in, we're going to draw a lot more. And I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure the listeners do have. I'll talk to you about, I told you when we're doing the preparatory meeting that there's a narrative, and you've also said that again today. So it's a confirmation that there's a consistency with you, there's a pattern, and I would like to really dig into that. But thank you so much for that story.
Thank you.
It's powerful, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. Okay, so now I'll turn to Ife Nathan. I'll listen to her story, but I must say this, anyone listening, and because again, she's the only female on the platform here, but she's a powerful minister. If it's powerful, not because she is so described, you need to listen to her songs. In fact, before I came on saying, I was listening to, in the last 3 days, I've been listening to Non-Compares and just enjoying that and being soaked in God's presence. But today I started listening to Still Within the Flow. And then when she describes herself as a minister, as a president, Ife Nathan Ministries, that song just captures why you're a minister. And that's where the questions I have for you come from. So please welcome with a Thrive welcome. Ife Nathan. Let's listen to her dimension of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Joseph. Thank you,
And you
Sarah. Thank
look
you.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. You look amazing. Okay. All right. And yes, I celebrate everyone here today. Um, all right. So I was born into a family of 11. Um, father, mother, 6 brothers, and 3 sisters. Okay, so I'm one of the ladies, and I remember very well that they all love to go out, have fun, and everything. I mean, at the little age of 7, I remember very well. I was in grade 2, so I'll use grade because I know there are a lot of people around the world. So I think it's grade 2, yeah. You know, so I remember very well that they were all outside playing, having fun with their friends, and I would just retreat back into the house at the age of 7, and I will sit. Sometimes I will kneel, and I would just be praying. What I'm praying about, I don't even know at that age. And I know, that I would pray so. It was so fervent and intense, that I would be sweating. I would feel the presence of God around me. This happened for years and it's still happening. But at that age, I didn't understand what was going on. My mom will call me and she'll say, "What's going on with you? Are you okay?" And she'll touch, my body. She'll take me to the doctor the next day. "Doctor, please check her for me. I think she's, I don't know what is." Doctor will check and tell my mom she's fine. Nothing is wrong. At some point, my mom took me to, I don't know what to call them now. So these people are into herbs and all of it. And she'll tell them, "Please check her for me. I don't think she is fine." Then one day, my father called me and he prayed with me. And he said, "There's this light around me." And he knows that this light, I mean, he said, "This light, I see it far away. I cannot tell where it's going to end. I can't even see the end of this light." That was what my father told me. I think I was about 11 at that time. And of course, I gave my life to Christ at age, I understood it at age 12. And we would love to sing at home. And then I joined the choir, started serving in this present house at that time with Pastor Tony. Before this present house was Freedom Hall, so church was splitted into 3 different branches. And of course, I would lead worship in my little corner, lead the church in worship, and people would be like, "Oh, this girl is a minister, she's this and she's that. And I would just do what I would do because I love to sing, you know. But I would have visions of seeing myself in bigger stages singing. I would see myself, leading people to Christ. I would see myself worshiping fervently. And I would jump up and wake up and tell my mom, she would tell you, of course, she sings. My dad plays the guitar. So my dad said one day to me, he said, "I always just take everything you tell me, I take it back to God to ask him, what is this girl talks about every time? Because my dreams are always, ministering to people. I mean, I'm ministering and lives are changing. I'm ministering and things are happening." And my father said one of those days he had to go back to God and say, "Who is this child? You gave me 9. I've just been having children and having children. What is this one? What?" Yeah, he said he's just been having children. And I mean, my mom is 60 now with 10 grandchildren. So you can imagine she started having children at 15. Yeah, yes. So, so they just kept having. Now I'm just asking them, "Hey, hey, 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 we will not do that type that you put it, or you put, please," because they are like, "Oh, you guys, have children." He said he had to go to God one of those days and say, "Who is this child?" He said, and God showed him a vision. And before he left, before he passed on, he told me, he said, "I see you singing with the angels in heaven." So my story is one that started roughly. Before this time, I will go for rehearsal where I served in this church, the initial where I first started serving. I served in this church for 12 years, and I led worship for 12 years. There was no break, no time. Yes, I led worship every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Friday. for 12 years. And of course, we have rehearsal, days, So initially, it will be for 8 years. It will be that my pastor is assembling everybody together, but the music team, the pastors, everybody must meet 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And you can't say you're not coming. My pastor is at the gate waiting for everybody. When the last person comes in at 7 o'clock, he shuts the gate. You must be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you can't be on this boat. Better just start going back home. For 8 years, we're praying for 6 hours every day. I mean, I'm in the music team. What do I have, with prayer? And he built us, for years. So I always tell people, I say, oh, I sing more than I pray more than I sing. Because the prayer altar is my bed, where my music sits on. Yes, it's wonderful to have a wonderful voice and all of it. So it's been this journey. At some point, when I joined this church, my father would say, "Oh, what's rehearsal and all of that? Oh, you need to go to school." But I'm like, I'm saying I'm in school. He said, "No, I don't want you to drift. I don't want you to, you must, get your papers and everything right, and just stay in school first. Forget about this music." I'm saying, "Daddy, I sense the call of God upon my life. I sense God saying this." I said at that time, I think I was 14. So there was this plenty of arguments in the house. My mom would say no, my father. So we had this, we had a lot of flowers in front of our house. Some huge, some, long, some small, beautiful flowers in front of the house. When you're coming in, you love to want to see, what the building looks like. But you see, all the years my father would complain, "Don't go for rehearsal." Don't. By the time I go out for rehearsal and get back home, they are waiting for me with a branch of the flower to beat me up. Didn't I tell you not to go for that rehearsal? While my mom is beating on the left, my father is beating me on the right. That was how the flower, there was no more flower in front of our house. You understand? And people are like, "What happened to the flower?" I've been beating all manner. Is it plank? Is it wood? Is it ruler? Is it anything they find? They are using it on me. "You must go to school. We don't understand this one. You are saying it's calling. I don't understand. Are you going to eat with this? What are you going to do? We don't want this." I'm like, "Oh God, I see this thing. I understand it. It's burning in my heart. Where is it written in scripture that you are going to?" No, 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 no. We get back to you. We know who you are before, of course, before God showed him, because there was too much fight. At some point, they'll lock me out. "We've told you to stop this music. So you're not coming to the house today." They'll be so angry, they will forget me outside and leave me there till the next day. "No, you're not coming to the house." Of course. So no food, no lunch, no dinner. And one of those days, they were so angry with me. It was a Saturday till a Sunday. Yes, also let me know my timing. You can just, let me know
Yeah.
how. So yeah, it was a Saturday. So in the afternoon, 12 o'clock is always rehearsal. Went to church for rehearsal. Got back, of course, on my way, I've had to, NEPA would deal with us. I was born, I don't know if anybody knows Ajegule. I was born in Ajegule. I don't look like it anymore, but I was born in correct Ajegule. Hello. you know, so, so you're laughing, and so NEPA, in fact, that part is not even on the map. It's not on the map where I was born. Well, it's not on the map. So don't even just bother. So, I was on my way back from that particular rehearsal. I had to, press my clothes, like iron them at a friend's place. Immediately I finished, of course, you have these malams who used to polish our shoes then. Guy, they will polish the shoe. They finished polishing the shoe. I got my clothes ironed. I was ready for service the next day. I was going to be leading worship that day. I was fired up to lead worship. I got home. My father had visitors. Of course, they pounced on me again in front of the visitors. "We told you, this child, you cannot sing. No music. No this. No that." They beat me in front of the visitor very well and threw me out again. They forgot me, of course. I saw them leading the visitor out. I begged my daddy, "Can I come in?" He said, "No, stay there, serve your punishment." Do you know, I slept outside that day. 5 a.m. the next morning, I took the same bag. I didn't come inside the house. Remember, I took the same bag and I was on my way to church. Now, going to church, of course, I had to trek to church. Now, getting to the middle of the road, I needed to clean myself because, of course, I didn't have a bath. I didn't stay in the house. and I needed to change and all of it. My church is big enough, but of course, no bathroom where you can have a shower. So I bought, I don't know if you guys, there are a lot of people here. I don't know how to explain it for everybody to understand. Those people, there are these people who have detergents, you know, they tie it, tosin, omo. They will tie it, you know, and they'll sell it on the road. So I bought on the road that day. So it was like 5:30 in the morning. I bought it and went straight to church. So I got to church, nobody was in church. I was happy there was nobody. Nobody would see me the way I looked. I really looked dirty. And then I went into the toilet. The water wasn't running. The tap wasn't running. This is very funny. Some of the things that I've been through. I had to go into the bathroom, into where we have to, you know, do the major. I flushed it. I looked into it. First of all, there was water. I flushed it and water was coming out. I took the water that was coming out of it quickly, you know, put a little soap, washed my face. That was how I got ready for service that day. And trust me, the praise worship, it was powerful. Everybody would be like, oh, wow, this is powerful. So I went through that stage for so many years, but people did not even know that that was what this lady was going through. When they said no singing, no, I stayed in the choir, I ministered in the choir for so many years. Visions were seen, prophecies were spoken, hanging over my life, you know, for so many years. And I just kept going. I just kept serving. I just kept trusting. And I just kept believing. At the age of 16, 17, I was already doing music professionally. You know, they would call me, the churches that were calling me, you know, I don't even know how they even got to hear my name. But of course, I know that where I was also helped, because the choir members there, they had different, you know, they came from different, you know, denominations. And they'll tell you, oh, this one, they want to see you minister. They want to. So I started going out to minister since the age of 16. At some point, in fact, it was just about, say, maybe 7, 8 years back, my mom will started looking at me like, oh, is this what you were saying? I'm so sorry, I didn't know this is what you were saying. And oh, God started speaking to me, you know how the person you've rejected becomes the cornerstone, how God just turns your story around and makes everybody see the light, you know, that he's talking about. So it's been a rough journey, you understand? But God has just, you know, from that, serving in different choirs, becoming a music director in another church for another 6 years, and then serving as a worship director and pastor in, you know, other churches. And this is what they will tell you. Please, can you, just the same way you were listening to Stay Within the Flow, that is how I worship in my secret place. And that day I heard God say to me in my closet, and I heard God say to me, listen, what you are doing right now, put it on a CD for people, you know, to be blessed by it. And I just went, I stopped the prayer immediately. And I went, put tongues in a CD and sell. How do I start selling tongues? If I want to share it with my producer, then he was like, no, forget it. Sell tongues. How? Where? In which country? This Nigeria. No, we cannot sell tongues. We don't know. In fact, that was like my first album coming out. And he just said, no, you cannot sell tongues. I said, this is what God is saying that I should do. And by the time we did it, people were like, this is what they've been waiting for. This is, if I hear people tell me when they're driving, they play it and they feel like they want to just rapture. I just tell them, please don't rapture yet. So please, people, just, you know, it's been testimonies upon testimonies upon testimonies. Wow. You know, how, testimonies upon testimonies. So this is the journey for me. And of course, many more. What you've gone through in over 27 years, we can't say everything, you know, in 15 minutes, but it's been challenging, it's been awesome, so yes. And of course, had from my secret place where I just take time to just pray, to fast and seek the face of God, God has given me ministries, birth ministries from, you know, the secret place, because that is all I do. I just take time, stay. You know how the Bible says, he that dwells in the secret place, not he who visits. You dwell there. That's your location. I've you know, birth ministries like Mentors Moment, where God has told me, mentor the younger ones, you know, close that gap, you know, and let them understand my heartbeat, you know, and then mentor women from your own experience. Mentor women. It's been awesome.
Wow. And we are so blessed to listen to this story.
You.
Once again, you captured it so well when you said, 27 years you've been on this journey. And you can't just capture all in 15 minutes. But I assure you that we've really learned, and I'm still learning, just remembering some of the things that you said. I just like to mention some things, just like 3 keywords. The first thing you said is vision.
Say that again.
Vision is not vision that is abstract.
That's right.
You said, I will see myself. It's powerful. We need to come to that place where we see, because until you see for your own self, nobody can really capture the essence of you more than you can. And it has to start from a place of prayer. And listening to, I didn't have to listen to everything you said before capturing what you really delivered in that song. It's powerful. It has to be a place of prayer. And I love the whole, the humility or the simplicity of your journey. Ajegule is a powerful place. I think that people should start writing about Ajegule. So many artists coming from there, so many people doing amazing stuff. And it reminds me again of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, he was born in a manger. There was no glory to all of that. But look at you. Look at you now. If Nathan, she commands a soldier. I mean, people need to go check it out on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. Not just listen to a song, but look at what she's doing in terms of her ministry. We're so blessed. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, sensational Bamidele is in the house. Can you guys just for 1 second take that in? Take it in. Sensational. God bless you, sir. I have to say before you come on board, I got introduced to you by Khalil, and even he doesn't know this story. Khalil is part of the Thrive team. He shared a video of you on YouTube, and I think at that moment in my life, I was writing a piece. I was writing a paper or something for a project. Some of the things I would do, and I just said, I just put it on. As soon as I just started playing the song, that was it. So many questions answered. And these days, I don't think there's anybody in Port Harcourt or Nigeria or anyone that's into gospel music who doesn't know your name, or when you come on stage or just listen to your tape anywhere on demand, that you don't just get raptured by that experience of praise and worship to God. We're so honored. And unlike Efe and Tosin, I didn't see much on you online in terms of interviews or just trying to get your backstory. So Thrive is really honored. We're going to be the first curators of your story. And so we're excited. Please take it away for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless you, Sarah. And my friends and sisters, brothers, and everyone that has gathered here this afternoon for this indeed. And Mama Efe, hello, and the rest person here. You know, I was only trying to applaud my claps for the King of Glory, who has been a magical God and has made most of our testimonies sound and look alive. I think now I really understand what you say, to him who he loveth, it is eyes. Let me not waste more time. I am a very careless, talented artist. I started singing, or I noticed I was singing at 7. When I was 7, I was born into a family where my dad was dating my mother, and they got me, and I started experiencing marital failure at the age 4 as a kid. It was not really a good one, where you wake up and you don't find your mother to tell him good morning, or you don't find your mother to tell her good morning. So it was very disastrous. And after then, my mom lost her job. But I noticed while I was in nursery school, I always sing my rhyme while I was a kid. And when I'm being baited, they tell me, look, I sing the rhyme from A to Z. I love singing. And in school, I noticed when we're doing the closing readings and all that, I like harmonizing it. And I'll come back to the house, but I noticed And the neighborhood, some senior aunties and senior uncles would want to say, hey, come sing for me. I'm sad. I need to be happy. I want you to just sing any song for me. As a young little boy, do I get work? I don't get work. I would just go to them and I start singing. I start singing my school rhyme. Don't build your house on the sand or soil. You know, and after that, I had to, I'll now see some uncles playing guitar and walking on the streets. I'll follow them. I don't even know where they're going to. I'll follow them until I meet my way. When they ask me, what's the name of your mother? I say, Mommy. What's the name of your father? I say, Daddy. They would start looking for my parents until they finally find my street and hand me over to my parents. I think I grew up and I later entered into Activist God Church, and I started with the children's church. Then we were living very haggardly, if there's any language like that, because my mother stopped the job because of marital crisis. We didn't share my father. She stopped working. She was sacked. So I had to go to Bundu. Do you know anywhere they call Bundu? Bundu
Bundu.
on the side.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. When the Finita was telling me of Ajegule, she doesn't know that we have another Ajegule here in Port Harcourt town. And I think Bundu is in the map, but it's worse than Ajegule because we were inside the riverine. And that's why today I still stay somewhere close to the island. So I started living with grandma and grandpa. And, fortunately for me, I had my time to go out now because mom would not always want to see me. I started going to church, walking with church, just like that. I still find my friends and what they call them, my big uncle and sisters. Come, the other day I heard you singing while you were beating outside. Come and sing for me. To cut this whole story short, I started again in the church, and it was Children's Day, and the pastor, my children pastor, invited me to come and sing in the big church. I got there and I started singing in the big church when it was my turn. All I noticed was the pastor of blessed memories, late E.A. Merwa, announced to the church that this kind of talent at 7, that this kind of talent is too big to stay in the children's church, would want to give him a promotional transfer to the youth choir. Wow, this was too big. But trust me, Sarah, whenever I get home, I get good knocks on my head, beautiful slaps from my mother. I ask you to go to school, you say you want to sing. You want to join my head with God, you will not get it. I was beaten from 7:10 to 12. I mean, with hard labor. More especially, I don't know how I was being fed because I don't know if there was food then or not. It was grandma. So sometimes I just take the net. As a kid, I'll go to the stream, throw something, and I'll catch crab. I like to explore. In fact, hunger could make me go to somebody's fowl cage and steal egg. And I'll go home and boil it, and fry it, and I'll eat. We don't even have, I don't even care about whether there's food or no food. So far there's life. In fact, I don't even look for food. I started playing the drums far back at 1990. I started playing the drums. My dear, when I started playing this drum, in fact, the first I used to carry in school, now depreciated to 7th and 14th, 10, 8, because it was just about the drum. If I don't see the drumstick, I will use my pencil, I will use my barrel, I will pluck woods. I was just all over it. And trust me, in our days when we were playing this whole music, you don't need to do publicity for the crusade. You just invite me. And then I don't even know what is money. I just want to play so far as the drum is good. You invite me, and when they see that small boy rolling on the drum, the people will gather, and that's how the crusade will go on. I'm only trying to cut it bit by bit, but trust me, sweetheart. There were times I was in the church, and I stole my pastor's wife's money, 10 naira, because I'm hungry. After rehearsals, no food. I needed to steal the money so that I can buy meat pie and eat. And when this woman asked for the money, 10 naira, it was something else. I was like, God, I don't enter. And my teacher, if he hears I thief, you know, will teach me again. Immediately they looked for this money. I had to bring it out and I told them I was hungry. And that's why I stole it. They took the money and they gave me meat pie and mineral and I drank. Attended service that day and strolled down back to the house. My grandfather called me early in the morning by 4 a.m., laid me down on the table that I came to the house very late and flogged the hell out of me. But this was never discouraging. You know, I was in love with the music and I was in love with what God has kept in me. So I met my senior brother and I asked him, look, uncle, you have been singing in this house and nobody sings like you. Won't you want to pray for me so I can be singing like you? And he said, yeah, he's going into pastoral job and that he's going to transfer the anointing of singing to me. And then I saw him laying his hands on me. And after laying that hand on me, then I was about 13. I started working with him in his church. You know, he would want me to stand in front of him and he would lay his hands and ask me to fall under the anointing. I will have to fall so that I can at least go to the church and see drum set and play. And that was how it was. But then when we do rally, we use the conga. So we beat the conga on our head or I'll beat it on another person's head. And we are trekking from Port Harcourt town to Marine Base to Garrison through Upper Road. Then when you get to church, you get a dirty slap for not performing very well. And that's your pay. Yeah. And I was so amazed when I heard Tosin said he slept inside the church. My dear, I slept in this my uncle's church, my mother's younger brother, uncompleted building for years. Behind the altar, you know, there's this cotton clothes. Those days you have cotton on the altar from the up to down. We sleep behind it. And when we wake up, it's church service, we start playing. This was a boy that was born with a golden spoon, but because of marital crisis, it was wayward. I had to leave my house. In the night, I trekked to look for where to sleep. I trekked to look for a friend's place to sleep. And I must definitely see one. I will not come and tell you I came to sleep. I will just follow you to watch the video that you're watching. If there's no light, I will just sit down in your house until it is 11 and you will not ask me to go. And I'll definitely sleep. Early morning, I'll bow back to the house and look if there's rice and beans. We'll cook and we'll chew. Life goes on. I got into secondary school and I started going for events. You know, I started going for events. I started going for events. And I noticed some senior colleagues of mine, let me not call them senior colleague of mine, let me call them senior uncle them in the industry there, will now ask me to come with them for an event. And I will go for the event. Coming back from the event, they'll give me 15 naira. In that 15 naira, I will look for a way to polish my shoe. Then if you have one shoe, you keep it very well. Polish my shoe, arrange my clothes. We don't even look for iron. We just wear it that way to get straightened in the body. And we'll go for the event. Luckily, I had a contract because they saw me playing the drum and the singing, and they had a contract. He collected the contract from me. I didn't know anything. And asked me to be teaching the people for free when he has collected the whole money. I did. It was all about the passion. I was going from one place to the other, just like that. until finally I started following some secular artists to go to do one or two from the church. And that was how, you know, I got to, you know, I got to learn some experiences about professional music too. Because for me, I feel it's not about the church. It's all about music. I needed to know music more. I got into the Cherubim Church. I started playing. I got into secular events, playing in clubs, even right from, look, I think Palio has some of my pictures. I started playing in clubs. Trust me, we'll finish playing in clubs and we'll just keep the chair into to two and just lie down there and sleep. Daybreak, we'll go back to the house. You know, at about 17, I started living on my own. At 23, I started living with my girlfriend, who happens to become my wife. Yeah, I started living with my girlfriend, who happens to become my wife today, blessed with 2 beautiful daughters. That picture was the first time I had my first car. I think that was 23. So please don't distract me with the pictures. Let me go ahead. That's my
Please
mom
go
and my
on, go on.
grandparents.
Exactly
Yeah.
4 minutes left.
Okay. So I remember when my mom saw me in an event, I was singing, and all of a sudden she burst into the event and was like, "My son, I am coming." She opened her bag, showed me 20,000 naira sprayed on me already, going home to get more money to come and spray me.
Wow.
I said, "Wow." I said, "Okay." Now she started being proud of me, a single mother that struggled with the 2 boys, but God was on our side. I answered the name Music Machine, transformed to Sensational Bami Daily. I was still struggling it. I started a new church, which was which was Faith Glory Ministries International. I never wanted to be in the choir. I don't like being in the choir. I want to be an external artist that I can move and I can come in. Because sometimes I might do praise and worship in church, and the next minute you might find me in cherubim playing with the garment. And if the pastor don't start to preach, I will just leave the church and I'll go to the back and start smoking. And after smoking, I might just go home and just sleep. The next 3 minutes, I'm going for rehearsals. I don't want to listen to preaching, please. I don't listen to preaching. But I was being invited to events. I go to school, I carry my uniform, I carry my standard clothes. I'm from school, I go for events, I go to crusades, I minister in every place. Look, I wasn't even bothered about the money. Just call me. Small, small, little by little, gradually, we started busting into the money at that tender age. In the jungle, I became a king. I got my boys, I got everybody around me, and I was never bothered. You know, that's one beautiful thing I love about every artist who grew up in Lagos. They started their social media activities right from when they started ministry. You understand? Even until I got to a limelight, I wasn't even bothered about social media. I go for interviews and I don't even ask for tips. I go for things and I don't ask for anything. I don't believe in it. I say, look, whoever God has blessed, one day they will find out. But that's not what it is. You will need to market your own self. The Bible says you do your best and you leave the rest. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So we grew up into what we are today. It was never an easy journey. I was telling my wife the other day, I remember when I went to a church to play. After I finished playing, I would sleep in the church because we sleep under a mosquito net. So I woke up to see a pastor's watch that was hanging on the window. And my spirit and soul was telling me, steal it. You don't have a good watch. And I had to steal the watch. I stole the watch and I went back to the house and I couldn't wear the watch because it wasn't in my lifestyle. And it took me so many years. And when I met the man of God, then I was driving a good Jeep. I said, Uncle, do you know I was the one who stole that your watch that day in that church? He said, I know, say that you Tifa, but I don't want your stock. You know, there's so many testimonies.
Wow.
My uncle who was always intimidating, beating, slapping, embarrassing, drawing and scattering me everywhere. To God's glory today, I am being introduced in his own ministry as if I'm the Jew of that same ministry. I wasn't discouraged. Those people that were paid, those people that were all pets, that were pampered, that were always honored, today are my fans. Most are not even most of them are not active anymore in ministry. Now, most of them are all now. My fans are looking up to me. I've helped too many of them. I've done so much for most of them. And most of them I cannot even see. Most of them are scared to come close because if I call Dile, would he answer me? If I call him, would he, just like that. I was
Wow.
not discouraged. I was not discouraged. And to the glory of God, I am here,
Yeah.
and we're still looking for the next place to get to. We're not. I am never satisfied where I am because I know that if God has blessed um, the superstars you see everywhere with what He has given to them, then we still have a long way to go
Mm.
for Him and to
Mm.
His glory. You know,
Hallelujah.
like I tell my people, as an upcoming artist like me, I, 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 I would always,
Yeah.
what is it? I'd always want to be humble
Mm.
because I never knew I was going to get to where I am today, and so I wouldn't know where God is taking me to. So
Wow.
I'm
David.
always excited. I'm always excited about where I'm going. Today, I am the cornerstone of that same father who rejected me, called me a swine, called me an idiot. You are a son of a war. Abandoned. I am my brother. I bought him a car. I got him a house. I bought my mom a car. I bought my younger brother a car. I got myself cars. I have been a blessing to my family members, and I'm proud that God never let me down. And
Amen.
God never let me down, and He will never let me down.
Who would have imagined Daily growing up from this? I think, again, listening to people who've told me about you, the crudest form of music. I say, when you go think about the dredge of the dredge coming from that place to where you are now. And you've just confirmed everything they said. I'm so excited. And I'm
Yeah,
sure that
yeah.
people listening to you today, all of us, we're so inspired by your story. Thinking about
I'm
just
honored.
your experience from your home, that didn't put you down. You were just pulled into music because this is what you're born to do. And today, so
Yeah.
many people are blessed, and look at the rewards. And you still describe yourself as upcoming. That is so humbling. And I'm sure people are learning. We are all never there. We're still on a journey. And I'm so excited that the Thrive
Yeah.
Consortium today, hosting you here, we've gotten a little insight into where you are today. And we're so
Wow.
grateful. Thank you for trusting us with your story. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
trusting us with your life and your accounts, because we're going to be
You're
talking
welcome.
about this on our social media platforms. We're going to produce content out of this. And so we're so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Efe. Thank you, Sensational. But we're going to go into the question section now. We have less than an hour to be here. So if you have any question, like I mentioned before, just type it out. There are a couple of questions already that I have some that already came with, and some persons actually asked me that can't make it today. Some other persons on Facebook, just what they want to know. So I'd like to kick off with Tosin. Listening to your interviews, you kept referring to this one lady that identified what you're capable of and encouraged you to be part of a choir. You've talked about her now 3 times. And I'm wondering, just how important do you think her role is? Because I know that there are people in people's lives now that kind of have an insight into their future. How were you able to say she's right? Was there something inside you that confirmed what she was saying? Or were you just like, oh, what is the role of all these peoples? This, I say peoples now in terms of, because they come in different ways and in different stages of our lives. What is their role? How do we know the voice to listen to and the one not to listen to?
Honestly speaking, I've had a few people that approached me then, to join the choir or find a place where I can serve God with my voice and everything. But on this particular day, like I said earlier, it must have been the Holy Spirit that did the work. You understand? Because she called me, and I had to even leave where I was with my guys. I had to go and meet her, and she spoke, very gentle lady. She just spoke, and she advised me that I should go ahead and join the choir. For me, I I connected with everything she said, even though then I wasn't really so much a serious Christian then, really. But I could feel it from the knowing of the art. You understand that this is not just coming from an ordinary person. It is unusual. You understand, and I believe there was a force behind it that propelled me into going to meet my MD. Like I said, I'm a very shy person. Up till now, I'm still very shy. I'm a very shy person. But like I always tell people that it is the Holy Spirit that does the work in us. You understand? For every time, like I tell people, for every time you see me on stage, you understand? I don't see myself doing the work. It is the Holy Spirit that is acting, that is doing the work. You understand? I'm just a vessel. So meaning that sometimes you see me when I'm maybe before going on stage, you see me like, okay, this guy, can he talk? He looks gentle. He doesn't even, that's me. I'm an introvert. I don't really, but get me on stage. I can't even explain to you how it happens. So I believe that the Holy Spirit was a force behind, that the push the lady gave me that day. It couldn't have been any a natural strength, or because she could talk properly. So, and I believe that it is the Holy Spirit in us that helps us to identify, okay, this is the way to go, this is the way to take part time. Like I said, I remember when those pastors asked me to join their ministry to assist in music. Of course, it's normal for an average human being to say, okay, let me jump at it. Because at that time, I was going through a lot. There was no money, there was no shelter, nothing. I was struggling. So it's just normal for me to say, let me jump at it. You understand? But maybe if I had jumped at it, maybe it would have affected my growth. You understand? Because I would just probably be in the church, serving in the church, in the four corners of the church, and it will limit the plan that God has for me. So part time like that, and sometimes when God is talking to us, when the Holy Spirit is reaching out to us to do something, oftentimes it doesn't look palatable. You understand? Sometimes it's like telling you to move from a place you think is juicy and lovely and beautiful, and it's telling you to move out to a place that it will show you, just like the way God did with Abraham. You understand?
Okay,
He said he should move.
Okay, so Tosin, what you're trying to say is, even though this word came from someone else, there was something about the presentation that kind of sat in well with you. So there was like a confirmation in your spirit that this is the right way to go. Okay.
Exactly.
So it made sense just at that point, because there are so many distractions. Somebody can say, oh, we'll be pulled in this direction and the other. There has to be, you need to have the Spirit of God in you and listen to your inner voice as well to be able to know what steps to take. That's amazing. Okay, so I have a question for Ife. Just before, lots of questions are coming. You guys, you're going to be here for a while because all these questions need to be answered. But I need to do mine first because we've had this one for a while. I usually don't like asking women generally, how do you balance life? How do you balance family? Because I think that women are designed that way. God made us so specially. We're able to adapt. We're able to be all and everything. And so sometimes I have issues with people who want to limit themselves in terms of gender. I'm not like the feminist conversation. I'm not part of that at all. It's just God made us in a way we're so unique, we're so powerful, we're so important, and we're able to do all of these things. But looking at your profile, Ife, I must ask you, how do you feel? Out some of so have yourself as a vocal coach. Where's that echo coming from? Okay, you describe yourself as a vocal coach, worship coach, You're the president of Ife Nathan Ministries, voice of our artist, makeup artist, and we can see, of course, an image consultant. Now, that's not to talk about your family and all the other things you have going on. How do you do all of this and be sane and still find a place for prayer? How do you do it? Okay, can you please unmute her? Because we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Can
you.
you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, great. This is how it happens for me. Okay. All of these things. All right, so I will use March till this time. You know, I have been able. So this is over 2 months. You know, I have been able to do so much. You know, what I haven't done in the past 1 year. You understand? If you set your mind, God gives a vision. So when God gives you a vision, he brings provision. Whether it is money, whether it is strength, whether it is encouragement, he brings provision. Provision can be in form of people helping you to make sure that vision comes to pass. Make sure that what he's put inside of you finds expression, if you get what I mean. So so this past, you know, few, say 2 months, I've done so much because December to January, so let me say September till now, when God told me, September 6th to be precise, when God told me that he's going to do something remarkable in 2020 and it will happen, you know, in Nigeria and in the whole world. Hey, I kept the word and it was exciting for me because you know how you hear a word from God and you're excited. God spoke to me. Wow. And you keep that and you just begin to get excited. And at some point again, it's telling you, you know, come out of your confinement. I've given you more to do and I've given you the strength and the grace to do. And so when I received those words, you understand, my spirit lifted, you understand, to do more, like you said. So at some point, I mean, when the word came like, get out of your confinement, that means I was, you know, limiting myself at some point with all I thought I was doing, with everything I was doing before that time, you know. And I had to tell myself, oh, wow, if God is telling me this, then I have to, you know, come out of what, you know. So all of this, they happened at different times. All through this morning, I was ministering somewhere, you know, ran into our meeting. I'm going to run out of this into another meeting. I've bonded, by 4. Remember,
Yes,
I'm going to run into another one. As I'm talking to you now, he's chatting with me. So can we have you at 4:15? I'm just letting him. Boss, cool down first. You understand? Yeah. Do you know? Yes, just for today alone. Do you know that after I'm done with this next meeting, I have a bonding time. Me and my daughter, we planned this morning when we woke up that our bonding time will be 6 to 8 p.m. So she told me already, Mommy, when you're done in the morning, where are we good? I said, no, I have 3 ministrations. So she understands it that way. Okay. So she said, okay, so when are you going to finish everything? I said, maybe 5:30. And then I tried to shut down. Sometimes when I'm done doing spiritual meetings like this, it depends, you know, the next one will be more of, you know, impacting into people and prophesying into people and over the nation. That's the next one. And we're going to be singing and ministering to God and people and praying over people. You understand? So that is different.
How do you do it, Ife? How?
Yes.
How?
So this is how. That's what I'm saying. God just gives you the grace because he gave you that vision. And so he empowers you and gives you the grace. If it's not God, I cannot go to God and ask for grace. God gave me the vision. I get the grace from him. I get the empowerment and the strength from God to be able to do all of this. And I'm not tired. I sometimes at 9 p.m. I'm still saying, so who else needs prayers? Who is calling me? Who is asking? I don't get tired. I don't, even me, myself, I don't understand it because it doesn't happen in the natural. It happens in the spiritual. That's what God does when he empowers you with grace. That's why you must always, you know, stay in the secret place. These things don't happen in the physical. They don't happen in the natural. The ordinary eyes and ordinary mind cannot understand it. The ordinary mind cannot understand.
I think everyone is listening, and I'm listening to the words and your choice of words. You need to stay. You need to trust that when God calls you to do anything, he enables you. Yes. God bless you. God bless you. Sensational. Now, this conversation is you and I conversation. And I think so
Okay.
many people resonate with it. It's a question, but at the same time, is a conversation. At the same time, it's advocacy. Of everything you said, you talked about your roots in Esau's, cherubim and seraphim. There is something about cherubim and seraphim and everyone that I know that have been part of that system that shines through. You can't hide it. But at the same time, there are negative narratives in the world, because I know I'm in media and some of the things I've done and the kind of challenge that I've received from people in terms of my involvement and stuff. But to date, I also have that background. My parents are members of the church. My sisters, my siblings, and family. I think the best Christians that I know come from. I mean, my mother is my biggest example, my best example of how to lead a Christian life. I listen to your song and it takes me to those days of glory. I say those days of glory deliberately because there's something about the institution, Cherubim and Seraphim, and there's something about praise, and there's something about worship, and there's something about welfare. If he's nodding her head, that means she agrees. And I think so many people will agree. Why is it that some people who have this root in Cherubim and Seraphim don't like to, I mean, agree or don't agree? Some people don't want to identify with this rare gift. Why is that so? And why have you chosen to make that like your thing? Because you're bold about it, you're talking about it, and anybody that listens to you can actually see and feel that authentic genuineness of praise.
Okay.
Why?
Let me come in right now. I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once your future is bright and successful, I think you're not supposed to be ashamed of telling them about your past.
Yeah.
I have never been an ESOP member. Let me clear that. All I wanted to do is play music professionally.
Mm.
And trust me, at that period, with the passion I have, even if you were playing in the shrine, I would have been there to learn from the shrine. I played secular music for so many years, more than 18 to 20 years. I played with Gerardo Pino late. I played with King Sonny Brown late. I played with David Bull late. I shared stage with Charlie Boy, Victor Wifo. Name them with Wiliki, Raskimono. Just name them, yeah? And my problem was at that particular period and time while this fire was burning. All we play is lift him up, his name be lifted higher. Lift him, no. But when you get to cherubim, or you just might be unfortunately, your window is your church window is facing the mega that what they call it, that mega stuff they used to hang on the pole.
Yeah.
Ahoja, my brother. I should go. If cherubim church is having that stuff close to your church, and what you just hear now, go. Aburula bonyu fara. Very restful music, very calm music. And then in your church, what you do is, say yeah, we don't we know get. You know, we needed to move a step further. So I wasn't bothered whether it's cherubim, whether it's a shrine or sele. I went there because my friends were all serving there.
Yeah.
I go there and I play good music. And I told you I wasn't after the preaching, after good music. Because at that time, you hardly find good equipment in most churches. So what you see, dilapidated equipment. So when you find a very good equipment and good musicians playing around, man, you don't want to lose that atmosphere. And trust me, I have talent that gathers the high and the mighty. So when they see me, they honor me, they bring me so close. We play it to enjoy ourselves, not really for the money then. But we were being paid, yeah? We were being paid. I attended Living Faith. I attended Redeemed Christian Church of God. I attended, in fact, I attend church so then I can't tell myself, say, oh boy, if God begin check church to me, don't go. Ain't go say no go any church again, they don't have to worship. I needed to stop the churches and I decided to choose a church. And immediately I started the church to the glory of God. I've worshiped in the church for 13 years.
Wow.
Most people think I'm a member of House of the Rock. Most people think I'm a member of Salvation Ministry.
Yeah.
Members think so many more. but you can't stop my worship. I go to these churches to worship because there are things the pastors, the ministers, the guards that most times I can't find them where I am. So I go to get them, and I get them like the other members get them. And I go back to my roots and get more grace to make them accomplish in my life. It's one God. So when I hear people activating ministries, I wouldn't blame them for cherubim because so many leaders, rabbis, you know their names. They have done so many things that are not too biblical and unworthy to be seen. But if the Bible has said you should judge no man that ye might not be judged. Same thing happened in other churches, in Pentecostal churches. And I am not a member or a person who can get church. I go to serve God. And if I don't find God, I wouldn't even tell you. I will just walk away and I leave. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I am not ashamed of telling people. My roots was from Assemblies of God, but in search of professional music and activating this talent God has given to me, I went to several places. And cherubim was one of those places I attended. Because at then, trust me, you can't hear any good music anywhere. I can beat my chest to tell person from 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 2000, cherubim were cherubims in the Bible.
Amazing.
Do you understand?
Amazing.
Do you understand?
Completely.
Do you understand? Yeah.
You were driven by the music.
I don't always fail to tell them, God bless you.
Yeah. And I mean,
God bless you. So I don't always fail to tell them.
Listening to your style of music, what we see all these influences. And it's so amazing that you're using all of them.
Can I shock you? Can I shock you? Can I shock you?
Go ahead, please.
Even at then,
yeah,
I was always wanting to sound like me.
Oh.
So what I do, I gather from Tosin, I gather from Efe, I gather from A, I gather from B, I gather from C, and I put them together and make them my kind of sound. I have this talent by the grace of God. Yeah, I have this talent by the grace of God. I might not even rehearse for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. There are times I don't rehearse for like 5 years. But when it is rehearsing here in my senses, once it's in my brain rehearsing, I will come and do that thing I have rehearsed in my head. I will shock you.
Wow.
Also, one good thing about what we're doing for the kingdom, there is no competition anywhere. You can never be better than Tosin B. Tosin B can never be better than Efe Nathan. Efe Nathan can never be better than Joe Praise. Joe Praise can never be better than me. We all have something to learn from every one person. But the industry and the kingdom.
I have to cut you off here because we go here. Because if you know the number of questions,
I don't tire.
And before we leave, before the end of the program, we're not leaving yet. Everyone, please stay. Your questions are here to come. But I have to mention this so that they get ready in their minds. Each of them will be singing a song. Briefly, just give us a taster. Like, let's hear the voice, fresh and clean. Then they will also be challenging some particular artists. They'll pick one artist, gospel music artist, and challenge them to come to Thrive. We need to hear their stories. Is that okay? So if we're doing that, I'll be sharing the social media and we'll call them out to come here. All right, so I'll go to Efe now. The first question that came, this is from Olabanji Teniola A. She says, or he says, I'm not sure, apologize. The person says, all those times you were receiving beating, and she smiles. Did you for once think of quitting and backing off just to obey your parents? What advice can you give to other ministers that are facing trying times, or when people don't believe in their vision and they try to, and they are trying to talk you down, something like, I think that's what she's trying to say. So did you back down? How do artists or upcoming people, we don't want our younger ones now to start running wild and say, I'm a minister. Remember Auntie Efe told us that she was stubborn and all that. How do we balance that? How do you deal with that? And how do you encourage? What advice do you have for ministers going through tough times? Let's keep the answers as brief as possible because there are several questions here.
Okay, very simple. at the time I had my parents do that to me, I because I know that God has been speaking to me, I've been seeing, these visions. I also tried, in my own little way to explain to my parents. I wanted them to understand. This thing was driving me myself crazy. What I
Mm,
was hearing, what I was seeing, I was going to blow up at some point because my parents were not understanding. But I kept doing it. You know, I kept at it, obeying them. They didn't at any point say, okay, we disown you or something. They threatened at some point, but they haven't said it. As long as they've not said it, I was using that one to be buying space. You understand? They've not
mhm.
said they would disown me. So I just kept going and I just kept doing, this, I kept worshiping God.
So in other
You
words, you were
understand?
communicating with them. You were trying to get them to
I
see the
was
benefit of
to
this.
see, yes, because I saw it. I
Okay.
saw it and I wanted them to see it too.
Okay.
Because the
So
call of
how
God
do you
upon my life
encourage
is major.
people? How do you encourage people going through like tough times?
Let them be sure. Are they sure that God has called them first?
Okay. Okay. And
Because
how can
that
they
will
be
keep
sure
you.
anyway? How can they be
How
sure?
have they must hear, they must hear. They must
Yeah,
hear and they
yeah,
must
yeah,
feel.
Okay.
They must hear and they
yeah,
must feel
yeah.
it.
Okay.
God talks to us differently.
I
God
totally
talks
agree.
to, yes, God
Totally
talks to
agree.
every one of us differently. They must be sure that they've been called.
So they have
That
to
will
bring
keep you.
themselves to a place where they hear
Yes,
God clearly. So that you're not
yes, so,
saying, are you guys listening?
yes, you
Don't go and say
must.
you can sing, go. Then so many people
Yes,
are singing. They are no longer singing.
yes,
Be
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Okay, sensational. So someone is here, Elizabeth Chiaka says, please share your forgiveness story. Your dad abandoned you and called you these horrible names. How were you able to forgive him to the point where you're getting him a car and being this generous to him? 1
It
minute.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't funny, but I think when you're in the sight of Christ and you can count how many times Jesus forgave even those who crucified him, and he did that even with ease. The Bible says, forgive them how many times and pray for them. I had no option but to do that. I think I could pick one day or twice when he dropped me off for rehearsals. And I think if I remember that, I always appreciate that day. Despite his wife, my stepmother, treating me like a houseboy in my father's house. It wasn't funny. I don't want to go there. I'd almost teared up, but I'm fine. I'm still the stone God has
Look
built.
at you now. That's the
Yeah,
beautiful part. Look at
and
you now.
and
Don't
to,
say
to shock
you
to
don't.
shock you to shock you to shock you, they changed my name from Oluwabamidele to Otumba. Do you know
Wow.
the meaning of Otumba now? My
Mm.
father calls me Otumba. His wife calls me Otumba. My,
Wow.
my mother in the house, they call me Abiye from the riverine side. They call me the king of the house. And I'm a voice in my family. And I give God all the glory.
What a testimony. What a testimony. Okay, this question is for everyone. So I'd like Tosin to start with it. It says, please, I would like to know what your advice is to upcoming gospel artists, especially those who are contemplating leaving gospel music to join secular music.
Okay. Well, I always like to tell people this, and I will take a cue from what Mama just said. I always tell people that when you want to go into ministry, you must be very sure that it is God that is calling you into it. Because basically, life, God has not promised us a life that won't have challenges. Life is full of challenges, life is full of issues, you understand? But the good thing is that when you have God, on the ship with you, it would make it easy for you. But imagine you going on a journey where you're not even sure God is on a journey
Mm,
with you. You understand? It will be frustrating. So
mm.
first of all, before you even venture into anything, you must be sure that God has called you into it. So that one automatically will erase any kind of frustration that may want to arise.
So I think it comes back to what if it said, for example, you need to listen. You need to
Exactly.
listen. What's the direction?
Exactly.
What's the
Exactly.
direction?
And
So
sorry,
that's the
So
sorry,
answer right there. Yes.
so
sorry.
and okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay,
Oh,
finish
okay,
then.
okay,
You come.
okay. So and secondly, I always say this to you that the Bible says, as long as heaven and earth remains, seed time and harvest time will never cease. You
Mm,
understand? I believe that every step we take in life, you understand, is a seed we are sowing. You understand? So as it relates to ministry, when you are venturing into ministry, don't see it as, okay, I want to go and play. You understand? Don't go into it because, okay, sensational is making millions or more. Then I guess
There's
I can
only
make.
questions about the money part. We'll come to it, but I want us to
Okay.
quickly deal with this.
Okay.
Let me
So
go to the
just.
Yeah, this question is for all the panelists, and I'd like Ife to take it. It says,
Okay.
what kept you amidst all the challenges? I think you've talked about that a bit. So can one get all the experience needed to become a music minister only in the confines of the church? I think Sensational Bamidele's life answers this question in part, but Ife, you might want to speak to this particular question. Do we all the experience we need to be successful? Does it have to be within the confines of the church?
No, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be in the confines of the church.
Okay.
What this person is trying to say is, do we need, I mean, to go through all we go through in church to be an artist, or what? Must he be in the confines of the church? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be. Initially, when I started, at some point, I sang with T-Mac. I don't know if you guys know T-Mac. I sang with T-Mac, is one of this, and I sang with Sonny Neji. Do you understand? And also, I like I said, we cannot say everything in everything that happened in 27 years, say them today. I mean, I was born in Nigeria, but also my parents were in Cherubim Seraphim Church. So I lived my life in church for so many years. I was in Cherubim Seraphim Church, left at some point, yes, because I knew that God was calling me higher. Bible says, come up higher. So God was calling me higher. At some point, they even said we should go. We had a team that we should go sing in a club. And the first and only time I sang, in club, after they took me there, I had a wonderful, they were like, oh, she has a wonderful voice. We love her energy. Can she just come? And so I was excited as long as I was going to sing. Truly, in my head, I was going to worship Jesus. I didn't know what the club meant. I didn't know what they do in a club. They took me to the place. I saw people there. The only thing I saw was they were drinking, and it was just different. And I said, oh, okay, fine, let's sing Jesus. I opened my mouth and I started singing, Jesus, you're my firm. I was enjoying the groove. I sang my heart out. When I was done, they packed my shoe and everything. Don't break this. This lady, only one man came outside with his drink and his cigarette and told me, I love the way you worship this God. I know this God. I want to go back to this God.
Oh.
So that will drive you it will keep driving you. It will keep, no matter how it will keep driving you.
I get that.
Yes.
That's amazing. There's always that pull. When it's God, there's always that pull. He will get you. He'll get you.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
So sensational. This is a very important one. I think everyone will have to speak to it because it's about the money. All right. So this question is coming anonymous. The person says, how do you balance your service to God with your gifts and talents, with asking for payment even while you're still growing? I mean, so it's down to the money point. At what point did you start saying, pay me for this? At what point did it go from just service to appreciate my talent?
Okay, it started by servicing. Yeah, so it started by servicing.
Okay.
And I was servicing. But I noticed while I was servicing, I didn't have a shoe. I didn't have a good shoe. And I couldn't tell any of the church to buy me shoe. So they give me transport of 20, 20, 50 naira, 100 naira. And I save. By the grace of God, when family buys me a shoe, I will need to polish it. So what I do, I wear the shoe just once in a week, except I have an event, but Sundays mostly. Do you understand? So then we went asking for so much. But in life, we started growing to an extent where we needed to stay comfortably and do this whole thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the Bible also says that he that watereth shall be watered. But I don't know why people would always want to give the Bible the other side and give this other side.
The way you just approach the camera. Please, as I just talked about this money part, see how you've come close and you're delivering the
my God.
No, because if you check it out, okay, let me shock you. Let me shock you.
Sensational. Let's go. Let's go.
I'll come back to you, but
let's go.
And the minister is worthy of his wages.
We have to slide.
The minister is worthy of his wages.
Yes.
So the money is very important. The Bible says to people like me that is righteous, that money is a defense and not the root of any evil.
Tell me, because you're all chilled, you're relaxed. People don't know that now they pay to get Tosin to come and minister. You'll be paying millions. At what point did you start saying, pay me my money? Oh,
okay.
When did you move from money? Yeah.
I believe that you must have worked to a point where you are well grounded already before you can now, say, okay, now I can boldly, talk about because I've been able to build a brand. Let me use the word brand. Now, initially when I started out, and of course till date, I still see it as an act of service.
Listen, are you there? Network?
Can you hear me?
Yes, so we can hear you, but your video is kind of stuck.
All right, don't worry. The video will come back. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, up till now, it's still an act of service. But, at the initial stage, it was all about, okay, I want to be a blessing to the people of God. So when we are invited, I don't even go about asking for anything. Whatever they give me, fine. You understand? But of course, along the line, when I started having a proper team, and these people, I can say it is ministry for me. But for my people, the people that I work with, they don't see it as, okay, they see it as they are working. You understand? So I try to always make it known to whoever is inviting me that, come. I like money, but then you can do anything you want to do with me. But my team, you have to do them well. And I try to break it down for them. Okay, this is how we go about it. This is how I try to, balance. But I don't go all out like, okay, if you don't pay me, I'm not coming. I don't do that. You understand? Because at the end of the day, it is still ministry. However, you must respect the grace of God upon my life. So that's the way I see it.
Amazing.
Listen, you come to my church, yeah? Don't come with your instrumentalist, just come alone. Come and sing in my church, yeah?
You that if I'm coming to your church, now 1 billion, I go charge you 1 billion.
Oh, Tosin. Tosin, you do what you are preaching. Now do what you are preaching.
Hold on. I have rumors. I have rumors I heard, and I just want you to say yes or no. You don't have to speak much to it. If I ask and it's true, you say yes. If it is not, no elaboration before we go to the next almost final segment. Okay, so I'll start with Tosin. Is it true that you are married to a wonderfully endowed and blessed?
Pardon, please, let's say pardon.
Oh, very true.
Tosin, yes or no? You're speaking in tongues.
Yes, very yes.
Oh, hallelujah. Okay, so you see, Tosin's, we heard. Somebody told us and sent us some pictures. Everyone check out Tosin's wife. Tosin is married to one of the most beautiful, amazing ladies. So congratulations. And happy birthday again. It was your birthday on the 24th of May.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to try. We're running up now. Efe, I heard somebody told me, not me, let us be sure. Somebody told me that mentors with women in worship fetches you about 1 million naira every time you have the session. True or false? True or false?
I want, how I want to answer that question. Let's start fetching me money, please. Let it start fetching. I've been using my money. To do mentors, women in worship. So please, they should give me money. They should give me money. I need the money.
Right. So that one is false. Okay, so the last one, sensation that your own is big. They said to us,
it shouldn't be too big, please.
They said to us that you are on retainership with the River State government for, I don't want to mention the money. It's too much. True or false? Are you on retainer with the state government?
False. Totally false. Okay. Not true at all.
But the
Bible says, okay, let's say God has given me a talent that has made me stand before the kings and queens of my generation. And the government, they always look, I am one artist, one gospel artist who conquers the secular gathering. Even if it is 100 million people, they must worship.
Amen.
I am one gospel artist that will never, no matter how my experience was in the secular world, never sing a secular song in any of those gatherings. They will worship my time and they will leave. So the government love it. They like to give thanks. So they call me and they pay me to do it. It's great, what I desire.
I like the
And it's a
emphasis on
favor.
pay.
Yes.
You pay me to do it.
Yes.
Well,
They
listen, we're
pay
getting
me to
all of
do
this.
it.
This is happening on Thrive. You can't get all this information anywhere else. It's only
No,
on Thrive. Okay,
I
so
am not. I was only sorry. I was only appointed once because I was a citizen who followed them about and their campaigns, and they were like, "Okay, let's just honor this guy." So they gave me a political appointment for just 6 months as a local commissioner of my state, River State,
okay,
in my community, Okrika. So I was once a councillor,
okay.
and it was terminated even before the 6 months. I never answered Honorable Bamidele. I am still answering sensational. So no governmental appointment, no governmental retainer. Who want to retain you?
Okay.
They
Okay.
only
All
call
right.
you,
All
bless
right.
you.
Okay. So now back to Tosi. Just as a round up, we have about 10 minutes to go. Tosi, who would you like to see on the Thrive platform next? One gospel artist that you're challenging. Stare into the camera and say, please, you have to bring your video and say, I challenge so and so to come to the Thrive platform and share their story. Let's go.
All right, so I challenge Mike Abdul to come to the Tribe platform to share his stories.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, we're waiting for you. We're going to reach out to you, of course, but we'll be waiting for you to take on this challenge. All right, Efe, who are you challenging?
Okay, I challenge Freke Umor to come to the Thrive 3.0.
Amazing. Franco boy, you can hear Efe. We're waiting for you. Again, we'll of course reach out to you formally, but you need to take this challenge. This is serious. People are waiting to learn from you. You're grandmasters, and we're so grateful. Sensational. Take it away. Who are you challenging?
I want to challenge Mercy Chimo, but I don't know if she has been there before.
Okay. No,
I
she's not
challenge.
yet.
Oh, she's not.
No, yeah.
Okay, then let me challenge. Let me challenge that beautiful Yoruba lady. What's her name that sang before me at the just concluded.
Shola Allison. Shola Allison.
What's her name?
Shola,
Yeah,
listen.
Shola Allison. Yeah, Shola Allison.
Okay. All
God
right.
bless you.
Shola Allison, Bamidele, Sensational is challenging you to come to the live platform to share your story. And with this is how I'll wrap up. Thank you so much. I've been inspired and I'm still learning. Thank you for being a blessing to me. And thank you for being a blessing to the world. But please don't go away because Solomon Agba, the organizer the head Thrive Consortium, has a final word for all of us. Thank you so much. Just hold on. If you don't go, we still have like 2 minutes. Solomon, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Efe, Tosin, and
we can't hear you.
Thank you so much, Efe, Tosin, and Billy. It's been an amazing time listening to your journey of continuous success. I use that word deliberately because your success is a continuous one. People have story of the humble beginnings. We have been amazed by the struggle, the community that you guys use as stepping stones to the new life field. The message of hope.
Solo's voice is speeding up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's better now. Stay on this tempo.
Okay. I want to thank our panelists, Dele, Efe, and Tosin for their message of hope and their narrative of how they have navigated their success up to now. It's a continuous success. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. You have inspired people that have listened to you. You have showed the way. And one thing that is common amongst you guys is that even at the time of the low moments, the God factor showed up. And a lot of you have said that you always had this vision of where you are going to be. So we thank you for taking your time to share your stories with us. Our prayer is that this is just the beginning. The world will hear of you. And like I said in a different platform, when Philip confronted Nathanael to say, Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Nathanael answered in John chapter 1, verse 47, come and see. I'm saying, guys, the world will come and see you guys, and they will continue to see you. I want to particularly single out Sarah for your excellent work in moderating this session. God bless you. And for all the listeners and people that have taken their time to attend, please stay with us. This is just the beginning. Tribe 3.0 is on its way. Thank you all, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.
Okay, so our artist will sing us out. Tosi, you have 1 minute to do your song, then we'll go to Efe, and Sensational will take us out. So please, take it. Tosi, you go now.
Okay. There's a shift in the spirit. You can see it if you believe. There's a move. God is ready to do it. It is yours if you believe. Glory, hallelujah. God is touching our lives. It's happening. It's happening. Glory, hallelujah. God is changing our lives. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh, wow. It's happening indeed. Thank you, Tosi. God bless you. If you please, you're up next.
All right. None compares to you. I lift my voice to you.
Oh.
None compares to you. I lift my hands to you. None compares to you. I lift my voice to you. None compares to you. I lift my hands to you. Say, Alpha, Omega. You are God, ancient of days. You are God, creator of the earth. You are God, Omega. You are God. You are Messiah. You are Messiah. You are Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. You are Messiah. You are my healer. You are my healer. You are my healer, my healer, my healer. You are my healer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Sensational. Please round us up. 1 minute. Lead us away.
Boy, I see as we the hammer scatter. My brother chatter fire like a lighter. Get a reason for this living. This season, my brother, it no easy. But I got na FCO. But them no say sensational go hammer. My enemies step the matter because I did think like Elijah. Jehovah now my lover. Sensation, I say. Everybody stand the firm. I say, Una don't get why.
Whoa! You guys, God bless you. Remember, everything about Thrive that you've seen today will be captured. You can watch the event again via Ellen Hub. And we're talking a lot more for those that have been here on Thrive before. You know about Ellen Hub. I'll be reaching out to all the artists. We'll come up with an article. People can watch this anytime they want on the platform. It will be on YouTube. It's on Audacity of Praise platform as well. Thank you so much. We're so blessed and honored. God bless you.
God bless you. Miss my friends too. Pray the doors open.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God
Bye.
bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
I miss all of them now. Tell them to open Lagos Airport unless me to. I don't care.
I'm calling everyone right now. I'm calling everybody back.
All right, darling. Bye. You see, bye. 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 Come on, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.